Hello friends, Tanya here for Spellbinders, and today I am making 4 cards with a few of the February club kits. We're going to start out with the Old School Notes clear stamp and die set. You can get this as a grouping with the clear stamp and the die as one club, or you can just get the stamp set if you don't need the dies. Here are all of the images stamped and die cut with their coordinating dies, and there is quite a variety here. I love that this typewriter has a slit automatically cut in it for this rectangular note to slide into the typewriter. That adds such a great detail to the die and the stamp set, making it even more versatile. We've got all these beautiful floral images that you can stamp and color and die cut and add to your cards and your projects. This is the die set and the stamp set next to each other, so you can see all of the pieces that you get in this stamp and die set. And I decided to go ahead and stamp all of these this typewriter 4 times on 4 different colors and white heat emboss it. I wanted to go for some fun springy bright colors. I've got a lovely green, a pale pink, a lavender, and an aqua color here. And I have discovered that all of these stamps from this clear stamp and die set fit through a small die cutting machine like a Sidekick. Here you can see the sentiment that I've stamped and then die cut with the coordinating die and how that fits perfectly into the typewriter. Now I am taking just some ink blender brushes that I still have ink on. Who knows which particular color of each grouping is on there. And I'm adding a little shading to our typewriters just to add a little extra depth and detail to these stamped and die cut images. And I'll use my cleaning cloth to wipe off the excess ink off of the embossed image. Here I've got the purple, and I did have to go back and grab some purple ink to add a little more depth to this because I didn't have quite enough ink on my blender brush left over. Who knows when I last used a purple. I am beginning to love purple again. Next, I'm taking this panel that I had inked on the embossing folder. This happens to be the Slimline floral embossing folder, and I'll try to remember to link the video that shows how I created that in the cards here. Next I have the which one is this? This is the small die of the month die, and it is the oval stitch and border die set. And I die cut that from some vellum. It's got this beautiful stitched oval, and I'm going to adhere the inked and embossed panel onto a slimline card base, and then I am going to build this main image element to put on the front of the card. I'm taking all of these little flowers that I've stamped and die cut from the Old School Notes stamp and die set, and I'm just going to add those all over around the typewriter. I decided to make this into a birthday card, so I took the birthday sentiment, and I believe that says happy birthday to the most amazing person, I think is what it says. But if you take a look at your the stamp set, the close-up, you can see what that says a lot better, and maybe you can see that better because my screen is really tiny while I'm doing this voiceover. We're going to add the different botanical elements behind the back of this little typewriter. I chose some really bright colors because it is cold as can be here in Minnesota right now. It is 28 below and it is bright sunshiny. There's just something really special about really cold days. I'm going to add a little more sparkle to this card by using some of the new Essential Gems. This is the sapphire color, and I love that deep blue. I was born in September, so sapphire has always been a special color for me. I love blue. I also happen to have blue eyes. It's just my favorite color. Blue is an amazing color. So if you don't have any blue gems, I highly recommend these sapphire gems, and they do go a long, long way. There are 4 different sizes in these gems. That was card number 1. Here we have card number 2. I am using a bunch of different supplies on this one, and I've kind of laid out how I want this card to happen. I took a piece of pattern paper from the January card of the month kit, and I embossed it. I glimmer hot foiled it with the diagonal glimmer foil plate from a recent release from Spellbinders, and I glimmered that in Opal foil, and then I die cut that with one of the precision layering dies. That is also a new die set. This is the A2 version, and I did die cut this down to, I think this is like a 3 3/4 by 5 inch panel, and I used another die from that precision layering set and die cut some shimmery white cardstock to do a layer of matting behind that. Next, I took a stamp from the January clear stamp of the month set and its coordinating die and stamped one of the heart images from that. I believe that stamp set is called One Love, One Heart. Very versatile stamp and die set. It's not quite available yet if you are watching this video at release time in the beginning of February, but when it does become available as an a la carte offering, I will link that in the description box below. I'm adding some of the foliage from the Old School Notes stamp and die set, and I am just tucking those all over. I had stamped this bunch of foliage in some dark green and light green inks, and this is the lighter green, I believe. And I like that it's just simple greenery and no flowers on this one. I let the hearts and the shimmer take the majority of the highlight of this. I also add some of the clear shimmery or iridescent sequins from the clear stamp of the month kit. I love how those coordinate with just about any color, especially anything that has a pink and red. It just tends to pick up the colors of the elements around them. We have another adorable card that came together in just a short amount of time. So that was card number 2. Card number 3, we're going to take these 2 Hero Arts reactive inks. This one is Pool Party, and the other color is Key Lime Fizz. And I had been struggling with these inks for a little while. I kept adding re-inker, and I wasn't getting the transfer that I liked, and it turns out they just needed to be rehydrated. I did use some ink refresher spray on these ink pads, and it made a world of difference. Now, I have heard that you can make your own ink refresher spray by adding a tablespoon of glycerin to a 4-ounce spray bottle of water, and I think that will be one of my things to try very soon. I am, as you can see, struggling with the ink blending here before I use the ink refresher. And you don't actually get to see me use the ink refresher, but you're going to see the results. I did not wait for the ink refresher to soak into the ink pads, so I got a little bit of blurriness on the edges of my stenciling, but we'll make it work. I am going to take some of these precision layering dies. This is the Slimline die set. There is an A set and a B set, because you will be able to create layers that are as small as 1/16 of an inch difference between the different layers, which is really amazing. Very much precision. I love that you have all of these options. So I'm looking for the size that I want in particular, and I'm actually able to get 3 card front panels out of this 8.5 by 5.5 inch sheet of white cardstock that I had stenciled with alternating colors of stripes. I'm going to add a little bit of Barely Art Precision Glue and some scrap heavyweight white cardstock behind this panel of stenciling, and I'm going to adhere this to a mini Slimline card. Just a 3 by 6 inch piece of heavyweight white cardstock that I have scored in the middle at 3 inches and folded. And I also had die cut one of the A2 layering dies to create the size of the vellum panel that I wanted to create. I didn't want this to be the same dimensions as the Slimline dies. I wanted this a little chunkier, so I used those A2 precision layering dies to cut that vellum piece, and I adhered my typewriter to that with a little bit of, I think I used coaster blank on that one, which is just pulp board, a lightweight pulp board that you can buy without any printing on it, and I'll have that linked in the description box below. It's a little bit heavier. It's like a double layer of heavyweight white cardstock. That's about the height of that. I'm adding, I believe these are the Spectrum Essential Gems, and that finishes the third card. And our fourth card is going to have a few more layers. This is some shimmery white cardstock using the Minley Slimline Envelope and Nested Card Creator die set. That is the July 2021 Large Die of the Month kit. So if you've been subscribing for a while, you probably have this in your stash. I think it's an essential. If you don't have it, please check that description box below, because there will be a link in that list of products for you to check it out if you think you might want that in your collection. I'm adding, again, some dimension with some extra layers behind our different elements. This is the smaller of the ovals in the small die of the month, which is called Oval Stitch and Border. And I was able to use the stitching die and then the outline of that die. And that creates a wonderful base for this to sit on, just to add a little more highlight and a little more separation before that, behind the typewriter, between the typewriter and that very vibrant striped border, striped stenciled background. Boy, more gems to add a little more detail. And I have used a different sentiment in each of these cards. There are actually 5 sentiments in that stamp set. I don't think I stamped one of them, and I don't remember what it's called. And of course, I don't have the stamp set sitting right in front of me. But the sentiments that I did use are Be Bold or Italic, never regular. I'm typing this note just to say thank you. Happy birthday to the most amazing person, and you push all the right buttons. I love these cards. I hope you love them as much as I do. Let me know in the description, in the comments below, which one you enjoyed the most. Check out that description box for all of the products that I used today. I'll have those listed and linked below. And if you aren't subscribed to this channel, please take a moment to do that now. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and check out these videos that I thought you might enjoy. Until next time, bye-bye.